how can I improve communication with my husband, as when I try to speak to him about any issues, he always finds a way to blame me and tell me that I'm the problem. To prevent this, I have stopped talking about any issues that I have. Well, I want to first say that I'm very sorry that you're in a situation like that. I know that it can be quite difficult, that you're in a marriage and you want to be able to express yourself, say what's bothering you, and your spouse is not reacting in the way that you would hope. Now, this can actually happen for several reasons. So usually, and I'm not saying that there's not exceptions, but usually what can happen is that there was a build up to this in a relationship. The marriage didn't actually start off this way, but due to misunderstanding each other, maybe kind of slipping into bad habits and the like, now it's kind of reached this point where the two people can't even have a discussion with each other about important issues. So in the past, and I don't know your situation, so I'm just answering in general, and that will be my key thing in this presentation is, please remember, I don't know any of you, I don't know your situation. And so I'm just answering generally based on my experience as a marriage coach. So in the past, what could have happened is it could have been the approach that led to it becoming this way. Maybe you were sincere in the way that you approached your spouse, but they interpreted it differently. So communication is not just the way that we speak, it's the way the other person receives it as well. And so sometimes we may think that we're saying something, but saying something, coming across sincere, just trying to help out, but the other person receives it as criticism, complaints, they get offended. And if that keeps happening throughout the years, what eventually ends up happening is that either people shut down, they don't want to talk anymore, or they play the blame game. They get very defensive, they feel very upset, and they feel like all they're hearing is just complaints and criticism. And so what can eventually happen is they kind of throw the cards around and say, no, you're the problem, and it's your fault. And it's very hurtful to hear these type of comments, but it does actually happen in marriages. And so I would say the place to start is to actually improve the friendship. You have to improve the friendship because, you can't try to speak about issues if you're not friends. You're just going to get into a fight, and that's not what you want. Or you're going to never feel satisfied with the solution that your spouse kind of creates, or that you somehow have to agree to together, because you don't understand each other. And so you're never going to reach a situation where you're going to feel happy and satisfied until you first work on the friendship. So when we get to a point where we don't even want to talk to our spouse, and we kind of just say, well, I'm just going to stop talking about things. That's not a solution. Okay. That is just kind of being pushed into a reaction due to the setup of the situation. So what I see here is the friendship really needs help. And I mean, the thing is I want everybody to know that when you are upset, when you're angry, when you're hurt, everybody reacts differently. And it's normal that in some circumstances, we will shut down. We will not want to respond. But that should just be in the beginning. We have to hold ourselves accountable and work on ourselves and realize, okay, I've got to gather my thoughts. I've got to control my emotions. I've got to figure out what I'm really feeling. And then you got to go back and talk to your spouse in a way that they can hear you, not just in a way where you're just saying what you think. There's two different things. And when we're actually able to do that, there's a mutual understanding that can be reached. And this helps improve the relationship. But like I said, first things first, that friendship needs to be worked upon. And the way to do that, if you're wondering, well, how do I work on the friendship? You just have to start doing nice things. You have to start doing nice things for your spouse. And you may think, no, I already cook, I already clean, I already take care of the kids. That's great, mashallah, tabarakallah. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something sweet, something sincere, something that warms the person's heart. And not something that, unfortunately, sometimes spouses expect from us. And when you do that, often enough, the other person will reciprocate. So even just complimenting your spouse, like saying, oh, you did a good job, or thanking them, like, thank you for remembering to take out the trash, or thank you for picking up the kids from school. When we compliment more, when we thank more, when we appreciate more, it warms the person's heart towards us. And that helps us and helps the relationship to become stronger. A trust starts to build up again, and you're able to eventually talk about these issues. And I wrote a book about this. It's called Say It With Love: Communicate, Connect, and Cure Conflict. And I've had, alhamdulillah, women tell me that this has really helped them understand how to speak to their husbands, and the things that they can say in order to communicate better and warm up their husbands' hearts so that they can hear them better in what they're saying. So please check that out, inshallah, for more tips.